Welcome back to podcast 90 of the Makeshift Podcast. We have a special guest today. He's brilliantly dumb on Instagram. He's Bob from BobDoesSports, also known as Bobby Fairways on the golf course. He's the figurehead of Breezy Golf and Have a Day, and the newest member of the Hole in One Club. Congratulations, Robby Berger.
Fellas, I appreciate it. I mean, knocked it out of the park there. I appreciate you throwing the hole-in-one thing in as well. So, yeah, nailed it.
It's more recent. It's more new, and I want to make sure that you're honored for it. I mean, that's an accomplishment that a lot of golfers don't have in their lifetime.
Especially golfers as bad as me. So it's really, really, I mean, I'm the last person anybody would have ever expected that to come from.
Yeah, I'm working on it too. I'm working on it. What do you usually shoot on the golf course if you go by yourself?
I could throw up a mid-80s, but then I could also hit you with a 120 in a blink of an eye. Like I really think, I know everybody says they're inconsistent golfers. I really think I'm one of the most inconsistent out there doing it. But yeah, I could throw mid-80s. I could be over 100.
Yeah. Okay. So you're like the J.R. Smith of golf.
Yeah. I'll take that. Sure.
There you go.
How often are you playing a week? Like what's the expectation for a mid-80s golfer to get out?
So when we do filming trips on BobDoesSports, I mean, we'll usually do a full week of content for the whole month. So it's 1 week there. And then when we're off, I would say I probably play twice a week. I'll go out there, mess around, listen to music, but not like competitive stroke play, just listening to music, having a ball. But yeah, you would think I'd be better than now, but I guess it's better for the channel. The worse I am, the more they tend to enjoy it. So if I don't get better, it is what it is.
We're starting to get into golf, and I feel like I'm going to be that character, and Zach's going to be like Perez because he's going to be the ringer.
It's a tough thing to do. I don't envy you at all, Zach, because I don't know how he does it. But Brian, you're in a great spot.
That's what I like to hear.
There's no pressure on camera now.
Exactly.
If we film ourselves.
Yeah, if I hit a good shot, people get excited.
Exactly.
You hit a good shot, people
You're the
expect
underdog. You got nothing to worry about.
Exactly. I had a question about your hole-in-one specifically.
Sure.
So hitting a hole-in-one is one of the greatest accomplishments for an average golfer.
100%.
Can you just take us through that whole moment and what you experienced?
Yeah, it's something that we always talked about because, like, if you get a hole-in-one, like, it not only is it so cool to have, but at the same time, too, what it does for the channel for us, like for BobDoesSports, the amount of publicity that it gets. It's one of the most surreal moments I could ever. We won a state championship back in high school that I always thought would be the coolest thing. I was pitching the final inning, and I always thought there's nothing that's going to beat that. Hole-in-one by far beats it. And then, to have all of your friends there, to have your best friends there, to do it there with cameras, something that I'll always have. It is truly as surreal as it gets. And we were doing a food challenge. So we were piping down salami while it was happening, which kind of makes the whole thing even more bizarre, but yet on brand. So yeah, truly the craziest thing that's ever happened to me.
What club did you hit?
It was a 9-iron. It was 145 yards. It was a 9-iron. And then it's like after the hole-in-one goes in, we're doing this food challenge where we have to drink orange juice, eat like a whole box of Cheerios and stuff like that throughout 18 holes. It was hard to keep filming after that because you're running on such a high, and then to kind of settle in and try and film was really tough to do. But what an unbelievable day, man. And
that round in general, didn't Perez have a chip in out of the sand? And Joey had another great shot too.
Joe chipped in, and for me, it's kind of like golf immunity in my eyes, because it's like I play so many rounds that are like, I just had the month before we were filming where I had the shanks the entire week. So you show up to a trip and you have the shanks. There's no hiding from it. You have to do then 6 videos that are up for the next month. So you put a hole-in-one and it's like anything that happens after that, you'll always have that. So just surreal.
We talked about it a little bit over the group text. That the very next tee shot, you weren't very smart. Can you just tell us what happened?
Yeah, next tee shot, I wasn't thinking. There was so much going on. Teed the ball up, just ripped it as right gets, and it went into like a palmetto tree. And I didn't think much of it. Usually, if I can't find it after a little, I keep it moving and I say screw it. And then right after that, Perez turned to me. He goes, "Do you have the hole-in-one ball?" And then it hit me that I was like, oh my God, that was the ball that I just hit into the tree. So I really, really wanted to find it. And then I didn't know how big of a deal it was then going to be on the internet after that. And it's hysterical. It's on brand. And as much as I want the ball, you do think about it. To have it all on camera, like as good as it would be to have the ball, I got 2 cameras looking at the ball. I'm there with my friends, so like I'll take it, but would I like to have the ball? No doubt about it.
Yeah, it's almost like well, first of all, did anybody find the ball? Like any fan or anybody playing the course, or you have no idea?
You know, it's funny. We have so many times where we've lost certain balls that we've talked about that fans have gone out and gone and get, whether it be in the water. Cutsy has this Taco Bell ball that he loves, and somebody went and retrieved that. Like, and it wasn't that deep into the bush that I am shocked that nobody has gone out. At the same time, I can't sit here and hold it against our fan base for not going in there and getting it.
It's like equivalent to Aaron Judge's record home run ball.
Some could say. Yeah, some could say. I'll take it right over my shoulder here, as ridiculous as that looks. But yeah, I'll take that.
When you hit the shot, when I was watching the video, it didn't look like there was much over there. So I just think the whole recipe of disaster happened. You know, it's just like it found the one bush or little tree, and there's nothing you could do about it. And you're wearing it on your shirt. You're good. You like it.
It always does tend to find whatever bush or tree that is out there. And it did. And yeah, I mean, you could see it in my face when Perez asked me about it. It all hits me at once where it's like, oh man, like what did I just do? But yeah, you got to just wear it on the chin.
Wear it on the chin.
We love it.
And you said you were doing a food challenge during it. We want to ask you a couple questions about your food and drink challenges.
Sure.
So which food challenge was more challenging to complete while golfing? 27 beers in 9 holes or the Hot Ones challenge in 9 holes?
27 beers for sure. To be honest with you, I don't take spice too well. So I was probably the most worried out of any challenge as that one. That one surprisingly wasn't, even though I'm throwing up in the bushes in that episode, it wasn't as vicious as I thought it would be.
You think you getting sick would be like, you know, maybe the toughest challenge you've done, but I don't know. It seems like you took it pretty well.
I yak almost in every single one of them, and I don't mind throwing up. It's like it kind of clears the system. But yeah, no, it's just that as crazy as it is, that kind of seems normal. But yeah, it was not as bad as the beer one.
The beers was tough. It was nine beers each person.
Correct. Yeah, 9 beers each. And it, you know, the beers, it's kind of different than the shots where the beers just, it settles in. It's a little, I don't know if thicker would be the word, but you know what I'm saying. It just sits in there different than a shot would.
So you had 9.5 days.
There we go. Had we done it by then, we want to do the have a day challenge. We just worry legally if that's going to become an issue. So we're thinking about it.
There you go.
All right. Next 2. 24 slices in 9 holes or 50 tacos in 9 holes?
Great question. Yeah, this is right up my alley. The tacos was really, really tough, but you wouldn't think the pizza, because like sometimes you go and you'll notice like you'll just eat a whole pie, like no big deal. Something about the pizza one, man, we were shocked. It was such a hot day, which I think adds to it. The pizza was great, but it was thicker. The crust was a little bit thick. Sometimes like when I put a whole pie down, it's not with all of the crust and everything. So that just came up on us. So I would have to say the pizza.
So I have an interjecting question here to the game. Perez never follows up. He never backs his word in the food challenges. So it's like you guys did the Chick-fil-A challenge, and you guys put down more nuggets than you and Joey Colcuts both did more.
It's his one Achilles heel. It's something that's always got him, because golf is never the issue for him. Yeah, I mean, look, you would think that he could really put it down. Perez, what a lot of people don't know, Perez, his palate, he has such a specific palate on what he eats. Like me and Cutsy will eat anything. But yeah, you would think that he would end up eating more. But to be honest, we kind of go into those things where he knows how much I can eat and he knows how much Joe can eat, that we want him to focus on the golf because that's what he does so well. We do the eating better. So he knows we got his back with that.
He's the ringer.
Yeah,
no offense.
Yeah. No, it's as clear as day. No offense taken.
All right. What about 50 cookies and 3 gallons of milk in 9 holes or 3 dozen donuts in 9 holes?
Yeah, you paired the right ones.
That's what I try my best.
Oh man. The thing with the donuts, we never finished the donuts because we were so behind on strokes. So once I realized that we weren't going to accomplish it strokes wise. I was able to take back on the donuts. That would have been vicious. To answer your question, I would say the milk and cookies, and the reason being, that was a day we were in Orlando, and it was so hot, and we had Christmas sweaters on. So I'm not a milk guy. So with the milk and the sweaters and the heat, like it just made it awful to where even after, it took me a long time to come back to life after.
It's a recipe for throw up, it sounds like.
Oh my God.
Milk
Yeah.
and sweaty
Perez flew chunks everywhere on the face. It was on his dad's course too. So like we had to kind of blur out on the carts, like where it was. And yeah, it's such a circus, man.
Did we miss the toughest food challenge that you've done?
Toughest food challenge. Yes. The toughest food challenge was the 9 hot dogs with Joe. And the reason being was it was those brioche buns. So it was like a thick bun. So it just, if you had a regular hot dog with like a regular bun, I don't think it would have been too much of an issue. When you put that brioche bun, and the dogs were kind of like bratwurst, they were really thick. It took me like 2 to 3 days to come back to feeling normal.
I remember watching that one, and I think you were shocked at the hot dogs that he brought.
Yeah.
Because they weren't just like your Nathan's hot dogs. You could down I feel like 15 of those within a span of 9 holes. Those were thick. And he was putting the condiments and toppings on it. He was a maniac.
Yeah, Joe he did the same thing for the tacos, where he asked for his tacos to be supreme. So like he had sour cream and all of those for the taco one. It's the most unnecessary thing. But he's a wild guy. So yeah, but with the hot dogs, he did the condiments. He had like a bacon wrap one, and he's a nut.
Unbelievable. I think you guys have a knack for the virality. Like, you know what's going to do well in a video. You know what's going to do short form, long form. You guys kill it. I want you to explain some of your most viral videos.
Yeah.
So some ones that I see you repost a few times, they're the ringers, they're the hits, and you call back these signature moments. Explain to us the supercut haircut.
Yeah. That's. I always go back to the well on that one because it plays so well, as much as it sucks to see. But I used to, for my hair, there's really not much to cut, so I didn't really care where I went. Like I just kind of wanted to get in and get out, and like my thought was always like, a barber's a barber. Like you go in, I don't ask for a crazy haircut. It should be something simple. And I've come to realize like, no, like it's really not the case. You do kind of want to pay more money and you'll get a better barber. But I went into Supercuts one day and they banged me up really, really bad, to where after that, I've had some bad haircuts after that, but for the most part, I kind of have a guy where I live that I now will go to. But yeah, that's definitely a big one.
I agree completely with the barber thing. I went through a phase during COVID where I thought I could cut my own hair.
Everybody
did. It just didn't turn out well. And I went to the barber like 6 months later after 6 haircuts by myself. The guy was like, "Who cut your hair last?" And I was like, paid guy $10 Supercuts.
And I'm not working with a ton either. And the same thing happened to me when I went back to a barber for the first time. Now I just buzz it. It's the easiest thing. I don't waste money on the barber. We're good.
A lot of people experimented with a lot during COVID. That was one of those. A lot of people were just cutting their own hair because it didn't matter. You weren't really going to see anybody. So a lot of people did that.
All right, next one here. What about the wheelchair in the bathroom?
Yeah.
I need to know what happened. What was going on? Was that real? Was it staged?
Zach thought it might have been staged.
No. I wish it was. A lot of people have said like, you could see me sweating too in that video. And that was years and years back. And that was really before, I don't think Instagram was too much of a thing. It was really Snapchat. So the first time I posted that, or maybe I was just using Snapchat more at the time, but I posted that and everybody was then replying to it. So I was like, oh man, like maybe this can really, have some legs. So I remember putting it out to different platforms and seeing that go. But I was in my apartment building at the pool, and I went into the bathroom. And then I looked down to see the wheelchairs and I felt terrible. And it makes you look at it different, because a lot of times, at least for me, I didn't think much about the handicap stall of like, you just see it, oh, you have more room. In reality, the right thing to do is stay out of there. I definitely look at it differently and learn from it, for sure.
When you walked out of that stall, what happened?
I said, I'm so sorry. I said, I really, really apologize, because I really did feel bad. I mean, I know I got a video out of it, but at the end of the day, I felt bad. So I did apologize. I said, look, I am so sorry. I was able to escape out of there okay.
Unscathed.
But yeah.
It's a very Curb Your Enthusiasm moment. I think there might be an episode about it somewhere, I'm sure.
100%. Yeah, so many people have said that. Yeah, it I find myself in a lot of those situations, and I've always had a knack for knowing to get the camera out during it, and it's tend to work out.
All right. Last viral video. What about when Joey Cold Cuts hit his head on the garage door?
I was hoping you guys would ask. Yeah, that to me is my favorite. I know I'm biased, but I truly think it's probably the best video on the internet. I think it's the funniest. It's the greatest. People were wondering why he jumped, like when he jumped into the garage door. We were at an Airbnb. So he was trying to we didn't have the garage code. So he was trying to just close the garage and get out. We were all going to dinner. So Perez said to him, just hop over. And he did it before. So he tried to do it and it didn't work. So he had to go it again. So that's when our buddy's like, I'm just going to film this just in case. And sure enough, he just, it was the greatest thing ever. And people have been like, is that fake? You can't fake the way he went into that garage and our reaction after. It's my favorite thing of all time.
Your reaction at the end of the video, you're like, you got it. And it was like that moment just being caught on camera and realizing that you captured such a moment. It's phenomenal.
Yeah. And then that night I couldn't sleep. I was so excited to post it that I could not sleep. And Joe heard me at like 3 a.m. giggling in my room to myself. And then he texted me like, you're such a fucking asshole. And I woke up, posted it, and boom.
That's almost like the best part of having a YouTube channel. That one was like completely raw and just unnatural. But the best part with having a YouTube channel is that you get all these great moments on camera. And not a lot of people have that to look back on.
Totally. Even like the hole-in-one, like stuff like that, all of that. And even when I was really young, I've always just loved to have a camera going. I mean, you always say to your friends, like, man, if we had a camera going at all times, some of this, you always have that conversation. So my other thing was like, all right, well, why not have one? And sometimes maybe even too much. Like I always am filming something. And something always comes out of it, especially with this crew.
I sometimes think about this. Do you ever think about your future kids, if you're going to have any, watching your videos when you were younger?
It's a great question. Yeah. 100 all the time. And I think, to me, as ridiculous as like, how am I going to discipline my kid when like he sees me eating 50 tacos? You know what I mean? So I think of that from a negative side, but then from a positive side, I know when my day's done, whenever that is, like at least I'll leave all of these videos and all of these content for whoever it is and my kids. I know for me with my dad's such a character that I'd kill to have hours of footage to watch of him. I would kill for that. So yeah, it's a great question because I think about that all the time.
Yeah, 100%. I actually think about that like frequently.
Yeah. And you guys too. I mean, what you guys are doing now, like how much content that you guys put out, like, yeah, your kids, I don't know if you have kids now or not, but like family, kids, like they'll always have that. They'll always be able to see it and watch episodes, whether they like it or not is a different thing. But let's hope they do. I do.
They'll all know how much I suck at geography or that I don't know soccer. All the embarrassing moments caught on camera in this studio. Yeah. It's like a museum. It'll live forever.
You'll take it well, though. When they rip on you, I'm sure you could take it.
Oh, I love it now from my friends and everything. So I'm sure if I had kids, of course.
Mm-hmm.
We have a game for you that we do on our channel.
I'm ready, baby.
You have $15 to build the perfect golf round. Okay. Have you ever seen these videos or no?
I love them. Any videos that you guys put out with these, I think they're the best.
Okay, perfect. Level 1, you pick the course you're playing on. For $1, you get the Links at Victoria. For $2, you get a mediocre public course. For $3, you get Bowser's Castle. It's in the Mario Golf game. For $4, you get East Lake. And for $5, you get Augusta National.
Now there's 4 rounds, just so you remember.
4. Give me give me Bowser's Castle.
I knew it.
Who would get to say that? As much as Augusta would be great, Augusta wouldn't let me do some of the stuff that I feel like is coming on the next level. Give me Bowser's Castle at 3.
You could definitely do the food challenges at Bowser's Castle, I'm sure.
Anything goes at Bowser's Castle.
Yeah, anything goes. There's no rules.
Is there food in Mario? Yeah. I'm trying to think of like a Mario food. Oh, the bananas? Something like that.
Banana challenge.
All right, next you get your challenge. So for $1, you play every tee shot blindfolded. $2, you get to play with kids' golf clubs. $3, 1 hot dog per hole. $4, 1 beer per hole. $5, you choose the challenge.
Give me
Now you have $12 to play with 3 rounds.
hot dog. Hot dog was $3.
Yep.
Give me hot dog at $3. So I got $9 to play with.
Even though you said that was the most challenging challenge?
Yeah, it's what does. I mean, that at the end of the day, that'll do the most views wise and all. So yeah, I give me the hot dogs at $3.
Would you change it to like Nathan's dogs?
100%. I wouldn't do if it was those old dogs. No way. But yes, like a Nathan's dog, light work.
All right, that's fair.
Easy money.
All right, level 3, you choose your playing partners. So you got $9 here. You're good.
Yeah.
$1, you get Vladimir Putin. $2, you play with the Kardashians. $3, you play with the Nelk Boys. $4, you play with Fat Perez and Joey Cold Cuts. $5, you play with Tiger Woods and Michael Jordan.
Oh man.
Are you going to leave the boys in the dust?
Yeah, I mean, I thought the $4 one was a lock. They got to understand it. Yeah, I got to take $5. $5 MJ and Tiger.
You got to put out the apology to them.
They better understand. If they see what's at 5, they better take it.
All right. That's very
Completely fair. Honestly, if there's 2 people in golf that you want to play with, those 2. All right, last one, you get your wild card for the round.
Yeah.
$1, you flip a golf cart. $2, a nasty thunderstorm mid-round. $3, you lose your putter. $4, open bar at the clubhouse post-round. $5, someone hits a hole in one.
I love what I did with the list. I'm thrilled about it. Give me the $4 for sure.
That was pretty damn good. You're going to be playing at Bowser's Castle with Tiger and Michael Jordan, slinging down dogs, and you got an open bar.
My only thing is that I will say, like, to see Cutsy at Bowser's Castle would be one of the funniest things I've ever seen. But I'm very, very happy about that.
What would he wear? He's got the best outfits on the court. I don't know if the best, but
Yeah, either the best or the worst. It depends on how you look at it. Man, I don't know. We were talking about, like, for Breezy, for our line, something that we do have to do is we've gone to a lot of, like, different, more like, I would say regular fits like that people would wear. We do, out of every line that we drop, we need like a Cutsy shirt where it is like that wild polo to like get him back into that, you know?
the Cutsy special.
Yeah, exactly.
Referring to, so Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan, obviously. I'm going to remove them from this next question. You're not allowed to choose them. What is your dream collab on a golf course? So it's you and 3 other players.
I would say somebody that I've always wanted to collab with bad is the Spitting Chiclet guys.
Yes.
From Barstool. They are, I mean, it's 2 of them. I guess they could add an RA, their producer, but they're they don't come out with a lot of golf content. They drop it like once every month or so. I don't know exactly when they drop. Their ability to chirp and their banter is, I think, right with us of what we like to do, of how we like to go at it. And I'm a huge fan of them. So with the Spitting Chiclet crew, for sure.
We could keep that as 1.
Okay.
So now he's got 2 more slots?
Sure.
I don't want to fill up all your slots, you know?
No. No. So I get 2 more?
Yes.
All right. So I would go, and Jordan and Tiger out of the question.
Yeah, you can't choose them. Out.
Okay. Spitting Chiclets is in. The guy that I've wanted to golf with so bad, and I think we'll end up getting it. We're pushing for it. It's kind of become a bit that he's not going to come on the channel, is Xander Schauffele.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so Xander's like, there's like a long time thing going now. We see him at Callaway events because we're sponsored with Callaway too, and like we just really go at it in like a fun way. Xander,
he's a chirper too.
Oh yeah, and
he
really
delivers.
Really good one. Yeah, he's awesome. And then 3, I think a guy that would play great on the channel that I think would be a riot and which shit talk as well is Phil Mickelson.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I just think he loves to chirp, and I would enjoy that so much. So that would be the 3rd.
These people, I feel like when the cameras are on, especially, they lean into those personas. Phil, he'll bring up gambling. He'll bring up some trash talk. I mean, he's done it with the match so many times. It's perfect. I love it.
Yeah. Every one of those, it was like, I was trying to think of what would be a really good episode. So I feel good about it.
I like the content mindset too. Yeah.
Always.
It's not just who you want to play with, but it's the content side.
Always.
Yeah.
Would the answer have changed if you just said you're straight up foursome?
To a degree, yeah. I might throw in a couple wrinkles in there for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they got taken up. Obviously, like Michael Jordan too would be incredible, whether it was an episode or not. I played by, he has his own course down here in Jupiter, and he played in the group in front of me. So even just to have him that close to you. It was one of the wildest things. And to watch, like, they have like 8 carts. It's his playground. He does what he wants. So to watch all the guys they have on one tee box, it's pretty wild.
He was at I don't know if he was there, but it was mentioned while we were at NASCAR Nashville last week, because he's got 2 teams, I think. He's got 1 team that he might have been there. And like just our reaction and like feeling, we're like, wait, he might be here? Like, where is he? Like, I'm sure people are swarming him anywhere he walks around. So
yeah, there's certain guys where it's just like, you meet certain guys and Michael Jordan is such like a different level of like an icon. And like, he just, that would hit me hard.
Yeah. He's like Messi in other countries.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. We got another game for you.
Sure.
Rank these golf course foods without knowing what comes next. All right. Uncrustables.
How many rankings is there? 5?
5.
Uncrustables, 4.
4. Not an Uncrustables guy.
I am. I just feel like you got some other big hitters for me.
Zach doesn't like peanut butter and jellies.
That's the problem.
It's kind of a sin.
I feel like I need to try it. I feel like I haven't tried
You've
it.
never
like,
had
officially.
one?
Like, yeah. I'm going to get all red. I'm embarrassed now.
You said something. There was something that you hadn't tried that I've seen on a clip that I couldn't believe. I'm trying to think of what it was.
I don't like ketchup. I'm out on ketchup.
Great. Your condiments thing was a disaster.
Thank you, Bob.
It was terrible. That's exactly what it was. That was nuts.
It is nuts.
It is.
We grew up like best friends all our life. We used to hang out and I would grab the ketchup from the fridge, throw it to him, and he literally would step away and let the ketchup explode on the ground because he has a phobia of ketchup.
It was, and then he just bashed, I think it was honey mustard.
Yes.
That was terrible. I mean, what did honey mustard ever do wrong?
Nothing.
I don't know. Well, listen, I'll say 2 things. First, those takes and my perspective being a little bit more amplified does well for the channel, right? Obviously, like I don't have anything against honey mustard that much.
Well, you do.
I mean, kind of. Like I won't touch it. Like I still stand by that. And sometimes when the cameras are rolling, like you just say things and you're like, I wish I could take that back. And some of these takes, I know it's going to offend people.
Hey, I'm talking about it. I mean, look, you got people talking for sure. But I remember that. It's funny that I'm glad you reminded me of that.
I'm happy too.
All right, next food up.
Hot dogs.
I hope you don't throw in a chicken Caesar wrap, but that's like the most iconic snack in golf. I'm going 1 for hot dog.
I feel like at the turn, it could change the momentum of everything.
Yeah, it's like a staple on the golf course. Like that is the most well-known, probably most bought thing at the turn. I feel good about dog at 1.
I would definitely say it's the number 1 golf food, no?
I think so. Yeah, I think so for sure. I'm not a huge hot dog guy, but I will on the course. It's not too filling to where you get into the clubhouse and you still want to eat after that. It's perfect.
So you put that at 1?
Yeah.
All right. Next one up. Beer. Now I know it's not a food.
Give me beer at 2.
I feel like the combination, the 1-2 punch is killer.
Yeah. Give me beer at 2.
Dogs and beer, 1, 2. I don't hate that at all.
I could see you thinking.
Yeah,
you really ponder.
I take these things seriously. I always want to get it right. They have them all on TikTok. I love doing it.
Yep. All right, next we have the breakfast sandwich.
Yeah, I can't put the breakfast sandwich behind Uncrustables. Give me breakfast sandwich at 3.
What's the go-to, Sammy?
Bacon, egg, and cheese for sure. When I was growing up in Jersey, Taylor ham was always the thing. So Taylor ham, egg, and cheese was always
Taylor
it.
ham guy.
Yes. Taylor ham? Yeah, okay. Pork roll.
Or your pork roll? Yeah, that's the classic debate. North Jersey's Taylor ham, and then South Jersey tends to be pork roll. I'll die on that hill.
What about Central Jersey? Do we exist? Because we're here right now.
Oh, Central Jersey? Are you both pork roll?
Yes.
Yeah.
You are both pork roll. I get the argument for pork roll. I really do. As much as I wish I could debate it, I think pork roll actually has a better argument. But it's always been Taylor ham to me, so I just stick with it. You know what I mean? I can't.
Completely fair.
Pork roll does have the better argument.
You said at the top of the podcast, Bob, Rob, Robby, pork roll, Taylor ham. It's okay to call things different things.
Same thing.
All right, so you got 5 left.
I don't think you're going to be too happy.
It's going to be Caesar wrap.
Yes, it's the chicken Caesar wrap.
What a killer, man. It should have been Uncrustable 5, Caesar wrap 1, dog, beer. So on. What an absolute kill. I thought I was playing my cards right.
It's okay. You live and you learn. You adjust for the next time.
You can tell it's really going to bother me too.
Yeah, I believe that.
It's really
you want to hear something else that'll really bother you?
Go ahead.
Me and Zach have never had a chicken Caesar wrap.
That's just crazy. You guys are nuts. It's amazing you guys are as successful as you are with the ketchup take and that you gotta try it. You gotta try the Caesar wrap.
I'll try the Caesar wrap.
I don't know if I could do it. The Caesar
I'll
dressing.
try it.
Especially being from Jersey too. There's so many spots that would have a good Caesar wrap too.
I didn't know that Caesar dressing was anchovy.
Is that what's scaring you away?
I know it's not scaring me away. It's the salad thing, but I'm getting over my fear of salads. And I tried one the other day. It's fine. The anchovy though, I saw that on the menu. I asked my girlfriend, I go, is that what Caesar is made of? And she said, yeah. So that's kind of frightening me.
I get it. Like if somebody puts the anchovies on top, sometimes they put an anchovy on top of your salad. I don't like that at all. Like I ignore the fact that it is made out of anchovies because I like it so much. But yeah, I'm not a big anchovy guy.
I'm actually not sure if I could eat it then.
No, we just got, oh yeah, he's allergic to seafood.
That's a problem.
Yeah, no, that is good. So you know what? I get the pass on this one, maybe.
You do. I'd love to tee off on you there, but I can't. I mean, if you're allergic to it, there's nothing you can do.
I also saw your reaction there when you said anchovy on top. I think you coughed a little bit. You got
I don't like the texture of it. There's very few things that I don't like. Anchovy is definitely one of them.
I love that. Love that. I want to get into the crew that you have. I mean, it's Fat Perez, Joey Colcutt, even behind the camera. Why can't I remember his name right now?
Oh,
Jet.
Yeah, Jet.
Oh,
Didn't take it. Yeah.
that's your Jamie.
Yeah. 100%.
Incredible. So I want to get into the crew. So Joey Colcutt, how'd you meet him? How'd you guys get started?
Yeah, Joey Colcutt, we both were working at the Four Seasons in Beverly Hills at the same time. And he was in charge of the restaurant, and then I was the guest services manager. But at the time that I met him, I was doing front desk overnights, just doing my dues, and you had to do it. And it was a seniority thing. So you start at the front desk, try and work your way up. My manager behind the front desk complained about the noise in the restaurant because Joe used to never shut the place down. Like it was the only place in Beverly Hills that would be open past 11. And so everybody would come there, and she went to complain about the music. He came out to me, and I was there at the front desk, and he's like, do you think the music's loud? I said, not at all. I said, everybody's having a good time. And we hit it off right from there. And then we became very, very close.
How long ago is this?
Not too long ago. I mean, 4 years ago, three and a half, 4 years ago. Yeah. So, I mean, and it was great. We both worked the night shift. So after all the big executives would leave at 6 o'clock. So the hotel was really run by us. Not when I was at the front desk, but with guest services. So me and him would screw around, and I'd come into the restaurant, and he'd be ignoring all of the guests and watching him have a bet on a game and looking at the TV. It was the best. We had a blast.
And then you got into Fat Perez. So you were hosting happy hours during the pandemic. And then he was joining and attending. That's my understanding. Give me the lowdown.
Yeah. So we were doing Zoom happy hours, just like you said, during the pandemic. We had a Patreon, and that was what was going to keep people coming into the Patreon. Because the podcast really wasn't doing anything at the time. I was signed with a company called Bro Bible. And for me to make money and to make them money, they please start a Patreon. That's what we ended up doing. They ended up being a huge hit. It was a blast. But we're on the happy hour, and I get a text from Joe, and he's like, do you see this Fat Perez guy? And I look up because it's on Zoom, so I could see everybody up top. And I look over, and this guy's in his cubicle, clearly at work, slamming pizza and beer. And I'm like, what? And I just went over to him, and he called him up, and every time we came over to him, he crushed it. He was cracking everybody up, and he kept coming back, and we ended up then playing golf with him. And then, the rest is history.
Being able to build a bond over time in the hotel with Joey, and then Fat Perez coming and having a story behind that. I mean, it's everything just meshed together at the right time. And it's those opportunities that you pick up on. And it's great. The chemistry on the channel is phenomenal.
Thank you. Yeah, it's pretty wild. Then even Big Ticket, who's one of our producers, Joe was his boss at the hotel as well. So yeah, just the way it kind of all came together. It really is. It's a really cool story.
So the channel, you got to give a big thanks to the Four Seasons.
100%. I got a lot of love for the Four Seasons. It was really weird though, because when I was doing so many of the videos, I was always doing Instagram and videos and all. And when I was working at the Four Seasons, the channel started to really pick up. By channel, I mean the Instagram. It really started to pick up. So people would come in and they would recognize me and ask me for pictures. And the Four Seasons, it's very, very proper, and like they want you to be a certain way. And it was a really, really bizarre time because I was the manager at the time. I had like 50 people that were under me, and it was weird doing this stuff on Instagram, and like it's like living a second life, and they didn't really want people coming taking pictures with an employee. And it was a very, very bizarre time where I kind of realized like I gotta pick a lane here.
So we quit our jobs 3 months ago. So it's really fresh for us too. Thank you. And I worked in a corporate office in the financial industry, in like the transformation office. Boring words, right? But you started to see that overlay of like that dynamic, be like people come in and either workers that I've never worked before recognize me, and they're like, wait, do you have an account? I was like, yeah. They're like, and you're working here? I was like, yeah, like that's what I'm doing. And then people on your team that start seeing it and start bringing up videos and give you ideas and stuff. It was a very interesting dynamic in the office. And I guess after the pandemic, when people start coming back, and that's kind of when we hit our stride, was totally different than before. So,
and then I brought you into my job. When I worked for Overtime Sports, was a sports media company, and we went to a football tournament. So they host high school football tournaments every year for like the best high school football players. And they invited me and Zach as the Makeshift Project while I was doing my job to film some content. So we went there, and we were getting mobbed during the tournament when the high school football players weren't getting attention. We were like, damn, this is where we gotta start to separate.
Good for you guys taking the jump. I know it's definitely scary. At first it seems, just bizarre going to do it. But look, man, it seems like it's really working out for you guys, and hats off to you boys.
We appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
That very much. We have one more question. Two more questions?
Two more questions.
Two more questions. So you started filming golf content with just an iPhone, filming with Joey Coldcuss and his outrageous golf outfits. What advice would you give to someone looking to start creating golf content specifically?
My thing would be is just to keep firing as many videos as possible. Take a long form piece of content, clip it up, the best clips, and there's so many different platforms where you have a chance to go viral and build the audience, whether it's TikTok, Twitter, Snapchat, hit it on everything, and don't stop doing it. I see so many channels that start something, even ones that I've seen that I'm like, man, comes up and this is good. And then they try and change something else, or they stop doing it. Just keep going, whether you're 100 videos in and it's not hitting, keep doing it. Hit every single platform to give you that much better of a shot to hit and to build an audience, and just never stop firing.
It's like another ticket in the lottery with these platforms. I mean, TikTok, yes. Instagram, people get successful on different platforms faster than others.
100% true.
What equipment do you use on the golf course? So I know like that when you're filming the outfits, you use the iPhone, but like what equipment goes into it?
Yeah, the GoPros are big for us to get like the car cam footage. And then we have a guy on the green filming, and then the jet as well with their cameras. I don't know. I'm so bad with that as far as like what specific camera they use. But yeah, I know the GoPros are a big deal for us because like in between shots, getting that content of us talking about really anything but golf tends to play.
So you're filming 9 holes. How many cameras do you think you have running, and how many do the editors have to cut through?
Probably 4 cameras, because you have your jet, ticket, and then you have 2 carts. So then those 2 different GoPros. And then, yeah, I mean, what they do after we film, like for us, the job's over after we're done playing. For them, it just begins with all the editing they do. So, yeah, man, the work they do, they're truly incredible.
Yeah, they kill it. The edits there are amazing. Like they really put out all the content.
An important thing that you mentioned and something that we do, and it helped us be consistent, is like filming in bulk almost, or taking that long form piece of content and cutting it down. It's like if you're trying to just rely on creating one video every single day, you almost like have burnout.
Yeah.
Or the one day you forget and then you're not consistent, but like being able to edit and chop it all up and then edit it either daily or get ahead of schedule, I think is really important for anybody getting into any sort of content.
Yeah, it makes you that much more efficient. We're even noticing we do a lot of streams now on Twitch. of us just messing around. And it's crazy. Like even that, we're able to take that and put it on YouTube, and then we'll clip it up, make YouTube shorts out of it, then put it on TikTok. It's like you could do so much from one piece of long form content and then take it from there. I mean, I know you guys do the same thing. It's great.
Yeah, definitely. So another thing that you're big with is chirping at PGA Tour events. We wanted to ask, what was the best and worst reaction from a player while you're chirping them?
Yeah, that was when we were coming up, and trying to make a name for ourselves. We would do that, and we would try and do it away, especially with the way the golf world is, where like it's kind of frowned upon to do it. So we wanted to do it in a way where it was kind of like a positive thing, where it wasn't like going at them. The best ones, probably anytime Tony Finau came across the fairway, or like his reactions were always just the best. And then as we'd see him at other tournaments, he would recognize the voice and then come over. And so any interaction with him ended up being the best. And then, I would probably say the worst was Bubba Watson ended up being the most effective one, because that really got spread. But there was a time where we came to a tournament, and I think he recognized the bucket hat or whatever. And we saw him say something to the security to where like, I didn't really want to cross the line with it, but there was a time I was like, oh my God, like I think he's actually about to give us the boot. But then like when things picked up, we don't really do it anymore. But at the time it was fun. It was kind of a rush doing it.
Yeah, if you could find like a series that's successful and that's something you could repeat on, like going back to the last conversation as well, it's like unlimited content. And like, I feel like that's you just basically hanging out on a golf course. Whatever your internal thoughts are, you're just expressing them.
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't really love doing that. It was one of those things where it's like, I knew if I got it, it'd be great content, but like doing it, because like, if you don't get a reaction, you call something out, everybody kind of turns and looks at you, and like, it's tough. So I'd get a little boozed up before I did it. And then the positive reinforcements, rather than like heckling them, bringing them down, besides Bubba, it definitely made it better, because it was like coming from a positive place. But yeah, it always hit.
That's one of my favorite things at a sporting event, like at any sporting event, is like the guy 15 rows behind you screaming some ridiculous line.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a little much and you're like, okay, this is a little too far, but the passion from the fans, that's what we live for.
No doubt.
That's all we got.
Appreciate you boys, man.
We want to say thank you for coming on the pod. Do you have anything you want to plug or have coming up, or anything in your life?
Yeah, just, and I appreciate it. BobDoesSports, Robby Berger on Twitch. We're doing a lot now, but again, I just want to say I appreciate you guys taking the time, and I love what you guys are doing. I think it's absolutely awesome, and it plays, man. So keep pumping, and congrats again on quitting the jobs and doing this full time, and all the power to you boys. Keep it going.
We appreciate
it very much. Thank you so much, Bob, for coming on, guys. Bob Does Sports. Go follow him. We'll link all your platforms. You got plenty of them.
Take care, boys. Thanks.
That's a wrap, guys.
Peace.